Time is the most valuable resource we have. Once it's gone, there's no getting it back. That's why how you spend your time today will shape your future. Imagine looking back years from now and realizing you made the most of every single moment. You built the life you wanted, and every action you took brought you closer to your goals. But it all starts with one simple choice: how you spend your time. In this video, we're going to show you how to take control of your time, make each day count, and use your time wisely to build the life you've always dreamed of. It doesn't matter where you are right now. What matters is what you choose to do with today. Stick with me, because what you're about to learn can change everything. Chapter 1. Time is your most valuable asset. Let's treat it like one. Time is your most valuable asset, and you're either spending it wisely or wasting it. There's no middle ground. Every second you live, every moment that passes, is a piece of your life you can never get back. It's easy to forget how precious time is when you're caught up in the rush of daily life, but take a moment to reflect on this. Time is the one resource that doesn't renew itself. You can lose money, lose a job, even lose friends, but time lost is gone forever. The moment you stop watching this video and decide to spend your time on something else, that time is already part of your past, and that's the reality of it. Time is not only an asset, it's the most precious one you have. What you choose to do with your time determines the life you're going to live. The time you invest today will shape the person you'll be tomorrow. So why are you giving away this precious resource to things that don't serve you? It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you can catch up later, or that time is endless. But if there's one thing I can tell you, it isn't. The future you're waiting for doesn't come from tomorrow. It starts with how you choose to spend today. Each moment you waste, each minute you put off, is one less minute you have to make the life you want. So today, I want you to stop and think about this. How much do you value your time? If you want to live a life that's full of purpose, full of success, and full of fulfillment, you must start treating your time like the valuable resource it is. Let's be real for a second. Most people live as if time is something that can be replaced or gotten back. But that's not the case. You can't buy more time, and once it's gone, it's gone. If you spend your days in a haze of distractions, procrastination, or mindless scrolling, you are losing time that you'll never get back. You're wasting precious hours on things that add no value to your life. And at the end of the day, all you're left with is time that's been spent, but not invested. It doesn't matter where you are in life right now. Whether you're just starting out, or you've been at this for years, time is your most valuable asset, and it's time to start treating it like one. The way you spend your time shapes your future. It's that simple. What you do today will determine how tomorrow unfolds. And if you don't like where you're headed, it's time to change how you're spending your time. Every minute spent wisely is one step closer to the life you want. But every minute spent wasting time, putting things off, or living on autopilot is a step further away from that life. But here's the thing, you're not just losing time when you waste it, you're losing opportunities. Every day that you don't take action, every day you wait for the perfect moment, you're missing out on the chance to get ahead. People who are successful don't wait for the perfect time. They understand that every moment is precious, and they use it to build, to grow, to work on the things that matter. It's not about finding time, it's about making time. If you're serious about achieving your goals, about living a life of impact and meaning, you need to stop waiting for things to change and start taking control of your time. When you start treating your time like an asset, it changes the way you approach everything. Suddenly, you realize that everything you do with your time matters. Every task, no matter how small, becomes an investment in your future. You stop spending your time on things that don't move you forward, and you start focusing on the things that will. You learn how to prioritize, how to focus on what's important, and how to say no to distractions. You start to see that your time is finite, and you begin using it with intention and purpose. And that's when things start to change. It's not about working harder or longer, it's about working smarter. It's about being intentional with every moment of your day. Imagine waking up every morning, knowing exactly how you're going to spend your time, knowing that every hour is spent on something that moves you closer to your goals. Imagine looking back at the end of the day and feeling proud of how you've spent your time, knowing you've made the most of every minute. That's the kind of life you can have when you start treating your time as your most valuable asset. You might be wondering, how do I start? It's simple. Start with awareness. Look at how you're spending your time right now. Are you spending your time on things that move you closer to your goals? Are you making the most of every hour, every minute, or are you letting your time slip away on distractions, on things that don't serve you? Once you become aware of how you're spending your time, you can start making changes. You can start saying no to things that don't matter, and saying yes to the things that do. You can start making the most of every moment, knowing that each minute spent wisely is a minute invested in your future. This isn't just about productivity, either. It's about living a life that's aligned with your values, with your purpose. When you start treating your time as the precious resource it is, you begin to align your daily actions with the life you want to create. You stop living in a state of reaction, and you start living with intention, and that's when you begin to see results. That's when you begin to feel like you're actually moving towards something meaningful. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. We live in a world full of distractions. It's easy to get caught up in the noise of daily life and lose track of what really matters. But that's why it's so important to develop the habit of using your time wisely. Time doesn't wait for anyone, and if you're not careful, you'll find that days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and months turn into years. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize that you've spent all that time on things that didn't matter. The good news is that you can start right now. Right now, today, you can choose to start treating your time as the valuable asset it is. You can start making every moment count. You can start investing your time in things that bring you closer to your goals. And when you do that, you'll begin to see your life change in ways you never imagined. The more intentional you become with your time, the more you'll see the impact it has on your life. It's that powerful. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at your life right now and ask yourself, how am I spending my time? Am I investing it in my future? Am I using it to build the life I want? If not, it's time to make a change. Start today. Start treating your time like the most valuable asset you have. Stop wasting it. Stop letting it slip away. Start using it with purpose, with intention, and watch how your life begins to transform. The life you want is already waiting for you. It's just a matter of how you choose to spend your time, so choose wisely. Your future depends on it. Chapter 2. How you spend your time is how you shape your future. What you do with your time today will create the future you live tomorrow. Time is the most valuable thing you have, and how you spend it determines everything. If you want a life of success, fulfillment, and happiness, it all starts with what you choose to do with your time. Your time is not just a passing moment, it's the foundation upon which everything you'll become is built. Let that sink in for a second. Your future is being shaped right now, in this very moment, with the decisions you make today. When you understand that, you'll realize just how important it is to spend your time wisely. Every action, every choice, every task you engage in today leads you down a certain path. And that path is the one you will walk tomorrow. If you're not where you want to be in life, take a hard look at how you've been spending your time. Because the reality is, how you spend your time today will reflect the kind of life you lead in the future. There is no escaping this truth. Whether you spend your time chasing distractions, focusing on things that don't add value to your life, or wasting time waiting for the perfect moment, that's the future you're building. But if you choose to invest your time wisely, if you focus on the things that matter, you will start building the life you've always wanted. Time is the currency of your life, and it's up to you to decide how you spend it. Don't waste it. Don't let it slip through your fingers, because once it's gone, you can never get it back. Your time isn't unlimited, and that's what makes it so precious. But here's the thing, your time is entirely within your control. You have the power to decide where your time goes. The choices you make today are the building blocks of your future. When you start thinking about time in this way, it becomes a game changer. The most successful people in the world don't get there by accident. They don't stumble into greatness. They make conscious decisions about how they spend their time, and they do it every single day. And that's exactly what you can do too. Start thinking about every moment as an opportunity to shape your future. Don't let time just pass by and hope that things will get better on their own. You have the power to create the future you want, one decision at a time. The first step in spending your time wisely is to understand that you have to be intentional. Don't just go through the motions of life. Don't just let the days blur together. Every moment is an opportunity. Every decision is a chance to move forward or stay where you are. If you want your life to be different, if you want to achieve your goals, if you want to be successful, then you have to start being intentional with your time. Look at your day and ask yourself, am I spending my time on things that align with my goals? If the answer is no, then it's time to make a change. When you realize that how you spend your time shapes your future, you stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You stop letting distractions take away your focus. Instead, you start spending your time on the things that bring you closer to your dreams. You prioritize the actions that will help you achieve your goals, and you begin to eliminate the activities that hold you back. It's about creating a life where every moment counts, where every second is used to propel you forward. And once you start living like that, you'll begin to see your life shift in ways you never imagined. Things will start to fall into place because you're no longer letting time slip by without purpose. But here's the thing, being intentional with your time isn't easy. It takes focus, it takes discipline, and it takes a commitment to yourself and your future. There will always be distractions. There will always be things that try to pull you away from your goals. The key is to recognize these distractions and choose not to let them take your time. You have to get clear on what matters most to you and make sure that your time is spent on those things. It's about cutting out the noise and focusing on what's truly important. And the more you do this, the easier it becomes. You start to see the value in every moment, and it becomes easier to say no to things that aren't moving you closer to your goals. Your time is limited, you can't get it back. And once you understand that, you'll stop wasting it. You'll stop waiting for the right moment. You'll stop waiting for someone to give you permission to go after your dreams. Instead, you'll take charge of your time, and you'll start taking action. Success isn't about waiting for the stars to align. It's about making the most of the time you have. It's about getting to work, even when it's hard. It's about making the decision to take the first step, even if you don't have everything figured out yet. When you focus on spending your time wisely, you take control of your future, and that's when things start to change. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be perfect. You don't have to be 100% focused all the time. There will be moments where you take breaks, where you step back, and that's okay. The key is balance. It's about knowing when to push forward and when to step back and recharge. But the overall focus has to be on making your time count. When you spend your time wisely, you're investing in your future. And when you invest in your future, you begin to see the fruits of that investment. It's a process, but it's one that pays off in the long run. Every time you make a conscious choice about how you spend your time, you're creating a future that's in alignment with your goals. Every task you take on, every decision you make, is either moving you closer to where you want to go or keeping you where you are. When you start to recognize this, you'll see how powerful your time is. You'll start to realize that you have the ability to create the life you want, simply by making better choices with your time. Time is the one resource you can't replace, and how you use it will determine everything. So start today. Make the decision to spend your time wisely. Invest in yourself, invest in your future, and watch how your life changes. Success is the result of how you spend your time, and that success starts today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Start right now. The life you want is within your reach, and it's all up to how you choose to spend your time. Make it count. Make today the start of something extraordinary. Your future begins with what you do right now, and when you spend your time wisely, you're setting yourself up for success in ways you can't even imagine yet. This is your time. Make it count. Chapter 3. The Power of Focused Time. Eliminate distractions. If you want to achieve something great in life, you need to learn how to focus. This is a skill that every successful person has mastered. They've learned that their time is precious, and they know exactly where to put their energy. They know that distractions are everywhere, and they know the only way to truly get ahead is by eliminating those distractions and giving their full attention to the task at hand. If you can master the art of focus, your productivity will soar, and your dreams will become closer to reality every single day. When it comes to achieving success, there's no room for half-hearted effort. You can't afford to give only a fraction of yourself to what you're doing. When you're focused, you're all in. Every cell in your body is aligned with the task you're working on. Your mind is sharp, your energy is high, and your efforts are directed toward a singular goal. This is the power of focus, and it's the key to achieving anything you set your mind to. Focus is the difference between dreaming about success and making it a reality. The first step to mastering focus is recognizing how often we allow distractions to pull us away from what's important. You may not even realize how often this happens. But if you take a moment to look at how your day unfolds, you'll see it. The phone buzzes, the TV calls your name, and the social media notifications never stop. Every time you give in to those distractions, you're taking valuable time away from what could move you closer to your goals. It doesn't matter how much time you have, what matters is how you use that time. And if you're constantly pulled away by distractions, you're wasting your time. In today's world, distractions are constant. We live in an age where we're always connected, always plugged in, and always available. And while that can be great in many ways, it's also a trap. The constant stream of information, the noise, the notifications, they all take our focus away from what matters. But it doesn't have to be that way. You have the power to control your focus. You have the power to decide where your attention goes. And when you decide to focus, really focus, you start to see the world in a whole new way. You start to accomplish more in less time. You start to make progress faster. And you start to feel that incredible sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing you're using your time to the fullest. Think about the times when you've been truly focused. Maybe it was when you were working on a project that you're passionate about, or when you were in the middle of a workout, pushing yourself to the limit. In those moments, you weren't thinking about anything else. Your mind was completely locked in. Your body was in sync with your goals, and the outside world just faded away. That's what focus looks like. That's what true concentration feels like. And when you learn how to bring that level of focus into every area of your life, your potential becomes limitless. The key to mastering focus is to eliminate distractions, but it's also about creating the right environment for your mind to thrive. Your environment plays a huge role in how well you're able to concentrate. If your space is cluttered, if your desk is a mess, if your mind is full of worries, it's hard to focus. That's why it's important to create a space that supports your goals. Whether it's a quiet corner in your house or a specific time of day when you're free from interruptions, you need to set yourself up for success. Make your environment conducive to focus, and you'll find that the distractions are much easier to push aside. When you're in a focused state, time seems to bend. Hours can feel like minutes, and what once seemed like an insurmountable task becomes manageable. That's because focus allows you to move in the flow of what you're doing. You stop wasting energy on irrelevant thoughts or outside influences. You're in the moment, fully present, and that's when you start to see incredible results. Whether you're working on a business project, writing a book, or training for a marathon, the more focused you are, the faster you'll make progress. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Focus is a muscle, and like any muscle, it gets stronger with practice. Now there's something incredibly important you need to understand about focus. It's not just about blocking out distractions, it's also about knowing where to put your energy. Focus doesn't mean just doing something for the sake of doing it. It means doing the right thing. It means identifying what truly matters and putting all your energy into that. You see, most people get caught up in doing things that don't move them forward. They get distracted by the small stuff, the things that don't really matter. But when you focus on what's important, you start making real progress. And that's when you begin to see the big shifts in your life. When you make the decision to focus, you're committing to your future. You're saying that you won't let distractions steal your time, that you won't let the small stuff get in the way of your big goals. And that's when everything changes. When you commit to focus, you start to see your productivity increase. You start to accomplish more in less time, and you start to feel a sense of purpose that drives you forward. And when you're focused on your goals, you begin to achieve things that once seemed impossible. But it's not just about focusing on your goals, it's about focusing on the process. Success doesn't come overnight. It comes from consistent effort, day in and day out. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who are the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who show up every day and give their best. They focus on the process, on the small tasks, on the things that move them forward, no matter how big or small. And when you focus on the process, you start to see the compound effect of your efforts. You start to see the results stacking up over time, and that's when you know you're on the right path. Focus isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about using your time, energy, and resources in the most effective way possible. It's about cutting out the things that aren't serving you and doubling down on the things that will get you closer to your goals. And when you do this, you'll start to see a shift. Your life will begin to reflect the choices you've made, and success will begin to follow. The power of focus is one of the most valuable tools you have. And when you learn to harness it, there's nothing you can't achieve. The beauty of focus is that it's available to everyone. It doesn't matter where you come from, what resources you have, or what challenges you face. Focus is a level playing field. It's something that anyone can tap into, and it's the key to unlocking your potential. But you have to make the decision. You have to decide that you're going to be intentional with your focus. You have to choose to block out distractions and put your energy into what truly matters. And once you make that decision, once you commit to focus, you'll see your life transform in ways you never thought possible. Focus is the ultimate game changer, and it's a skill that can be developed. It's not something you're born with, but it's something you can cultivate. So start today, start focusing on what matters, and start putting your energy into the things that will move you closer to your goals. When you master the art of focus, you'll unlock a level of productivity and success that most people only dream of. So get focused, get committed, and watch your life change. Focus is the key. Use it wisely. Chapter 4. Time will either work for you or against you. Choose wisely. Time is more than just a series of moments ticking by. It's a force that will either work for you or against you. If you understand this, you're ahead of the game. If you don't, then you're wasting something you can never get back. Every single day you get 24 hours, and it's up to you to decide what to do with them. What you do with your time will determine your future, and that future is being shaped right now by the choices you make. You can either let time slip away from you, or you can use it as a powerful tool that propels you toward your dreams. The question is, which path are you choosing? The truth is, there's no neutral ground when it comes to time. It's not like you can stand still and hope for things to happen. No, either you're investing your time wisely or you're letting it drain away. And once it's gone, there's no getting it back. You can make more money, find more friends, but you can never recover the time you've lost. That's the hard truth. But it's also the best truth, because once you accept that, it gives you the power to change. You can turn your time into a force that works for you, a force that drives you to success and fulfillment. Think about it for a moment. Every person you admire, every person you look up to, every person who has achieved greatness in their life has one thing in common. They understand the value of time. They know that it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. They've figured out that time is a tool, a resource that can either move them forward or hold them back. And they've made the conscious decision to use it in ways that will move them toward their goals. They prioritize what matters most, and they're not afraid to let go of anything that doesn't serve their purpose. When you're aware that time is working for or against you, it forces you to make intentional choices. Every moment counts, and every decision you make impacts your future. That's the power of time. It's like a magnifying glass that either intensifies your efforts or exposes your weaknesses. You decide how you're going to use it. You decide whether you're going to waste it or whether you're going to put it to work for you. The difference between success and failure, between making progress or staying stuck, comes down to how you use your time. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you have to be busy all the time. Success doesn't come from just being busy. It comes from being productive. The key is to focus on the activities that will actually get you closer to where you want to go, not just the things that keep you occupied. You could spend your entire day running around ticking things off a to-do list, but that doesn't mean you're getting closer to your goals. Time doesn't care about how busy you are. It only cares about whether or not you're using it in the right ways. The first step to making time work for you is to take a step back and really look at how you're spending it. Be honest with yourself. Are you spending time on things that move you closer to your goals? Or are you filling your day with distractions, things that don't really matter? If you want to get ahead, you need to eliminate the time thieves. Those little things that suck your time away without you even realizing it. Maybe it's checking your phone constantly, watching TV shows that don't add value, or even just overthinking things. Whatever it is, it's keeping you from focusing on what matters most. When you start to be intentional with your time, you'll begin to notice a shift. You'll start focusing on things that truly matter to your success. And when you do this, time will stop feeling like your enemy and start feeling like your ally. Time is not something to fear or something to squander. It's a resource that, when used correctly, can work wonders in your life. But it all comes down to making that decision. Will you use your time to push forward, or will you let it drag you down? Another thing you need to understand is that time doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't matter if you're tired or if you think you don't have enough time. Time doesn't listen to excuses, it just keeps ticking. The reality is, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful is how they choose to spend those hours. Successful people don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't wait until everything is lined up just right. They take action. They make the most of the time they have, no matter what. I want you to really think about that. What if you started treating your time like it was the most precious thing you have? What if you stopped letting distractions take over your day? What if you focused on what truly matters? What would happen if you spent every single moment with purpose, with direction? That's how you start making time work for you. It's about being deliberate, focused, and intentional with every single minute. The more you do this, the more time will start to work for you, propelling you towards success. When you make time your ally, you stop reacting to life and start creating the life you want. You stop letting the chaos of the world dictate your actions. Instead, you take control. You decide what's important. You decide where to put your energy. And when you make those decisions, everything else falls into place. You begin to see progress. You begin to see results. You begin to see your goals moving closer and closer within reach. That's the power of making time work for you. You have the power to shape your future. Every decision you make, every action you take, every minute you spend has the potential to get you one step closer to the life you want. Time will either work for you or against you. It's that simple. And the difference is in how you choose to use it. If you want to move forward, if you want to create the life you've always dreamed of, then it's time to take control of your time. Stop letting it slip away. Start using it wisely. Start making it work for you. Because when you do, you'll unlock a level of success and fulfillment that most people only dream about. And it all begins with how you use your time. So make the decision today. Time is your greatest ally. Use it to build the life you deserve. Chapter 5. Master the art of saying no. Guard your time. You have the power to shape your life. Every day you make choices that will either push you toward your goals or pull you away from them. That's the truth we often forget in the busyness of life. The distractions, the noise, the endless demands of others, they all pull at us, trying to steal our time, our focus, and our energy. But here's the thing, if you want to move forward, if you want to create the life you've always dreamed of, you need to learn how to say no. Not to the things that matter, but to everything that doesn't. Because saying no is one of the most powerful tools you have in taking control of your time, your life, and your destiny. It's not just about turning down invitations, requests, or tasks. It's about protecting your time, your focus, and your energy. Time is the most precious thing you have. It's your most valuable asset. And just like you would guard any precious resource, you have to guard your time with the same vigilance. The art of saying no is not about being rude, selfish, or unkind. It's about making a commitment to yourself and your future. It's about acknowledging that your time is valuable and deciding that you won't let anything or anyone waste it. You'll only invest it in things that align with your values, your goals, and your vision for the future. Think about how much of your time gets stolen by the requests and demands of others. People ask for your time all the time, whether it's for a favor, a meeting, or just to chat. And in the moment, it can feel hard to say no. We want to be liked. We want to be helpful. We don't want to disappoint anyone. But here's the harsh truth. If you keep saying yes to everything that comes your way, you'll never have the time or energy to focus on what matters most to you. Saying yes to every request and every opportunity means you're saying no to your own goals, your own dreams, and your own future. Learning how to say no is an act of self-respect. It's an act of taking responsibility for your time and your life. It's recognizing that every yes you give away is a commitment of your most valuable resource. So before you agree to anything, ask yourself, does this move me closer to my goals? Does this align with my values and priorities? If the answer is no, then you need to say no. The sooner you start saying no, the more room you'll create for what truly matters. Saying no is also about boundaries. Boundaries are not a wall, they're a line in the sand. They let others know where you stand and what you're willing to tolerate. Without boundaries, people will take advantage of your time, your energy, and your focus. They'll demand your attention whenever they feel like it, and you'll be left with little to give to yourself or the things that matter most. But when you establish boundaries, you're telling the world that your time is valuable and that you're going to protect it. And that's the only way you can build a life that's focused, intentional, and full of purpose. Now let me be clear. I'm not telling you to be selfish or to shut people out. Saying no is not about cutting off everyone around you. It's about being intentional with where you direct your time and energy. It's about being mindful of the commitments you make and ensuring they serve your goals, your dreams, and your values. When you start saying no to the things that don't matter, you'll find that you have more time for the things that do. You'll have more time to focus on your personal growth, your work, your relationships, and the things that bring you joy. Let's talk about the power of focus. When you say no to the distractions, the interruptions, and the things that don't serve your goals, you create the space to focus. And focus is where the magic happens. Focus is what allows you to achieve extraordinary things. When you can direct your full attention to one thing at a time, you can go deeper, work smarter, and produce better results. The more you focus, the more productive you become. But focus doesn't just happen. It's a skill that you need to cultivate. And one of the most important steps in cultivating focus is learning how to say no to anything that pulls you away from it. Think about the last time you had a really productive day. What made it so productive? My guess is that you were focused. You were clear about what you needed to accomplish, and you weren't distracted by anything else. But when you let the distractions in, when you say yes to everything that comes your way, you lose that focus. And without focus, it's almost impossible to achieve the results you want. You end up spreading yourself thin, and before you know it, the day is over, and you haven't made any real progress toward your goals. The thing is, focus doesn't just help you get things done, it helps you get the right things done. Focus is about choosing what matters most, and then putting your energy toward it. It's about making the intentional decision to block out the noise and to give your full attention to the task at hand. And one of the best ways to protect your focus is by saying no. Saying no to distractions, saying no to unnecessary commitments, and saying no to anything that doesn't align with your priorities. Another benefit of learning to say no is that it gives you the time and space to say yes to yourself. When you stop saying yes to everyone else, you can start saying yes to your own needs, your own growth, and your own well-being. You can invest your time in the things that truly matter to you, whether that's developing a new skill, working on your business, or spending quality time with the people you love. Saying no is not about cutting yourself off from others. It's about giving yourself the freedom to focus on your own journey and to take care of yourself. But here's the kicker: when you start saying no, you'll find that people actually respect you more. They'll see that you value your time, and they'll start respecting your boundaries. You don't have to be rude or dismissive when you say no. You don't have to make excuses or feel guilty. Saying no is simply a reflection of your priorities. And when you stick to those priorities, others will understand and respect your decision. So how do you start saying no? It starts with awareness. Start paying attention to how much of your time is being taken up by things that don't really matter. Start noticing where you're saying yes out of habit or out of fear of disappointing others. Once you have that awareness, you can begin to make intentional choices. You can start saying no to the things that aren't aligned with your goals and yes to the things that are. It's a simple concept, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do for your time, your life, and your future. So take a moment and think about what you need to start saying no to. And then take action. Say no to the distractions. Say no to the time wasters. Say no to anything that doesn't serve your purpose. Because when you start saying no to the wrong things, you'll create the space to say yes to the right things, and that's when everything changes. Chapter 6. Time is the great equalizer. How successful people spend their time. You want to know the secret to getting ahead in life? It's simple. The way successful people spend their time is the single biggest factor that sets them apart from the rest. What do they do differently? How do they manage their time so efficiently? It's all about the decisions they make every single day, the choices that, over time, compound into massive success. The reality is that time doesn't care about who you are or where you come from. It doesn't care about your struggles or dreams. Time is the great equalizer. It treats everyone the same, rich, poor, successful, or unsuccessful, and it's up to you how you use it. When you look at successful people, you notice one thing immediately: they don't waste time. They understand the power of focus, of making every single minute count. They prioritize their energy and attention on what truly matters. But here's the catch. This isn't something that happens overnight. It's a habit, a mindset, a way of living that successful people have cultivated over years, if not decades. And it all starts with how they choose to spend their time. There's a reason why successful people always seem to have time to focus on their goals, to work on their personal growth, and to push their businesses forward. They don't just work hard, they work smart. They know that time is an investment, not a resource to be squandered. And they use it strategically. They understand that in order to create something extraordinary, they have to give their time to the right things, the things that will pay them back exponentially in the future. But success doesn't come by accident. It's no coincidence that the most successful people spend their time in ways that align with their goals. They don't waste time scrolling on social media, watching endless TV shows, or attending meaningless meetings. Instead, they invest their time in learning, growing, and getting better every single day. And that's the first step you need to take. Start making the choice to invest your time in what truly matters. When you look at your day, what do you see? How are you spending your hours? Are you making progress toward your goals, or are you letting distractions pull you in a million different directions? The way you answer that question will determine your success. If you're constantly caught up in the little things that don't matter, you'll never have the space or energy to focus on the things that will actually move you closer to your dreams. Successful people understand that time is limited, so they focus on what's going to have the biggest impact. They make intentional choices about how they spend every single minute. They block out time for things that will move them forward and let go of the things that hold them back. They know that their time is valuable, so they make every minute count. Whether it's investing in their education, building meaningful relationships, or working on their business, successful people are always working towards something bigger than themselves. The power of time comes from the choices you make with it. The average person might spend hours scrolling through social media or binge-watching their favorite shows. But successful people know that time is the one thing they can't get back. So they use it intentionally. They understand that time is a currency that can be spent, but not saved. Once it's gone, it's gone. And that realization changes everything. It's not about being busy, it's about being productive. Successful people don't focus on how much work they're doing, they focus on the results they're getting. They understand that working smart, not hard, is the key to achieving big things. They prioritize their time, making sure that every minute they spend is moving them toward their bigger goals. And that's something we can all learn from. If you want to achieve success, you have to start thinking differently about time. It's not just a commodity, it's a tool. The way you spend your time is how you shape your future. If you spend your time on things that don't matter, you'll end up with a future that reflects that. But if you spend your time on things that bring you closer to your goals, you'll create a future that is full of opportunity and success. One of the most powerful things you can do is to be intentional about where you direct your energy. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life, but successful people know that they can't afford to waste a single minute. They understand that every minute is an opportunity to move closer to their dreams. Whether it's learning something new, improving their skills, or taking action toward their goals, successful people use their time in a way that moves them forward. They also understand the power of consistency. Success doesn't come from one big breakthrough. It comes from the small daily actions that you take consistently over time. Successful people know that the little things add up. Every time they make a small investment of their time, they're creating a compound effect that will pay off in the long run. And it's that consistency that leads to the results they want. But here's the secret. Success isn't just about what you do with your time. It's also about what you don't do. Successful people know how to say no to things that don't align with their goals. They're not afraid to turn down invitations, meetings, or requests that will take them away from what matters most. They understand that every yes they give to something outside of their goals is a no to their future. In the same way, successful people know how to delegate. They don't try to do everything themselves. They know that their time is valuable, so they focus on what they do best and let others handle the rest. This not only helps them manage their time better, but also allows them to grow and scale faster. Think about your own time for a moment. How are you spending it? Are you focusing on the things that will get you closer to your goals, or are you letting distractions pull you in a million different directions? The way you spend your time today will determine the opportunities you have tomorrow. If you want a future full of success, you need to start making your time work for you. You need to be intentional with how you spend your hours and days. Now is the time to take action. You don't need to wait for a perfect moment or a big breakthrough. The key to success is simple. Invest your time in what matters, focus on your goals, and be consistent every single day. Over time, the small investments of your time will compound, and you'll find yourself living a life that reflects the choices you've made. You'll be living a life of success, of purpose, and of fulfillment. Success is built on the foundation of how you spend your time. So ask yourself, how are you going to spend yours? Will you make the choice to invest it wisely, or will you let it slip through your fingers? The choice is yours. Make it count. Chapter 7. Stop wasting time on the wrong things. What truly matters. Time is your most precious commodity, and yet so many of us waste it on things that will never move the needle in our lives. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth. When you look at how many of us spend our time, it's easy to see why we're not where we want to be. Too many people spend time on things that just aren't going to get them closer to their goals. They're distracted. They're procrastinating. They're stuck. But it doesn't have to be this way. What truly matters in life is where we focus our time, and there's no question about it. Too many people are spending time on the wrong things. Whether it's aimlessly scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows on Netflix, or getting lost in pointless conversations, the distractions are endless. The hard truth is that these distractions are not only wasting your time, they're holding you back from achieving everything you want. There is a difference between being busy and being productive. A lot of people confuse the two, but they're not the same thing. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're accomplishing anything of significance. In fact, the busier you are with the wrong things, the further you drift from your goals. It's like running on a treadmill. You're exerting effort, but you're not going anywhere. Being productive, on the other hand, means that every minute, every hour, every day, you are moving closer to your goals, to the life you truly want to live. Let's talk about the simple fact that so many of us spend time on things that we think matter, but in reality, they don't. How many times have you said to yourself, "I'll get to my goals tomorrow," only to find yourself caught up in a cycle of wasting time on distractions? Whether it's checking your phone, getting lost in meaningless tasks, or engaging in activities that drain your energy instead of fueling it, these things don't move you forward, they hold you back. And yet we keep coming back to them, over and over again, thinking somehow they're filling the void. But what if you could break free from this cycle? What if you could start focusing on the things that truly matter, the things that would push you towards success? You see, success isn't an accident. It's not some kind of lottery that only a select few get to win. Success is a product of intentional, focused effort over time. It's the result of consistently choosing what matters over what feels good in the moment. And it all starts with deciding not to waste time on the wrong things. Every day, we are faced with choices. We can choose to do what's easy or what's necessary. We can choose to follow the crowd or follow our own path. We can choose to scroll through social media for hours or invest our time in something that will change our lives. It's up to us. But here's the kicker: the wrong choices compound. The more time we spend on things that don't matter, the further we drift away from our dreams and our potential. It's the little choices we make every day that ultimately define who we become. Now think about it for a second. How many times have you said to yourself, "I'll do this tomorrow," only to let tomorrow slip by without doing anything? We all know the feeling of procrastination that holds us in place, making it seem like there's always a better time to start. But let's be real for a moment. There will never be a perfect time. Life will always throw distractions your way. There will always be reasons to put things off. But here's what you need to understand. Time waits for no one. Every moment that slips by is a moment you'll never get back. So, if you keep putting things off, you'll look up one day and realize you've wasted years of your life on things that never truly mattered. What's more powerful than time? The way you spend your time is a direct reflection of your priorities. If you say that your goals matter to you, but your actions don't back it up, then it's time to re-evaluate. The truth is, if you spend all your time on things that don't help you grow or move closer to your dreams, you're not showing up for your own life. And that's a wake-up call. Every hour you waste on distractions is an hour you could have spent creating the future you desire. You don't get those hours back. You don't get that time back. So why waste it? The great thing is that you have the power to change it. It's all about where you focus your attention. If you can shift your focus from the things that waste your time to the things that fuel your progress, you'll find that everything begins to change. It's like a domino effect. When you start investing your time in things that truly matter, everything else starts to fall into place. You start making progress toward your goals. You start moving forward instead of staying stuck. And that's the power of focusing on the right things. One of the most important things you can do is eliminate distractions. We live in a world that's full of them. Our phones are constantly buzzing, our emails are never ending, and we're surrounded by noise at every turn. But here's the thing, none of these distractions are helping you get closer to your goals. In fact, they're doing the opposite. They're taking your attention away from what matters most. It's time to make a decision. You can keep allowing distractions to control your time, or you can take control of your time and start focusing on what matters. The choice is yours. If you truly want to succeed, you have to be intentional with your time. You need to focus on the things that are going to move the needle. That means spending time on your goals, your growth, and your future. It means saying no to things that don't serve you and protecting your time fiercely. It means putting in the work, even when it's hard or uncomfortable. It's not always going to be easy, but that's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. The people who succeed are the ones who don't waste time on things that don't matter. They focus on the things that move them forward, no matter what. The key here is simple. Stop wasting time on the wrong things. Stop letting distractions dictate how you spend your time. You have big dreams. You have big goals. But if you don't start using your time wisely, those dreams and goals will remain just that. Dreams and goals that never materialize. It's time to stop the cycle of procrastination and distractions. It's time to start focusing on what truly matters. The clock is ticking, and it's up to you to make every moment count. Chapter 8. Time blocking your way to success. Make your day work for you. Your life is shaped by the decisions you make every single day. Every choice you make, whether big or small, molds the direction of your future. The truth is, most of us don't realize how much control we have over our own destinies. We get caught up in the busyness of life, lost in the chaos of daily routines, and before we know it, time slips away. But here's the thing, you are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of the choices you make. And those choices, no matter how small they seem at the time, hold the power to change everything. When you look at successful people, it's easy to assume that they've been handed opportunities, or that they have some kind of magic formula for success. But that's not it. What they have is an ability to make the right choices, day after day, even when no one is watching. It's about taking control of your life, steering it in the direction you want, and making decisions that propel you forward, not hold you back. And it all starts with recognizing that you have the power to change your life by simply changing your choices. It's easy to get caught up in the narrative that life is happening to you, that you're a victim of circumstances. But when you adopt this mindset, you give away your power. You start blaming the world, your past, or the people around you for where you are. And sure, things happen that are out of your control, but the most important part is how you respond to them. Life doesn't care about your excuses. The universe isn't concerned with your circumstances. What matters is how you choose to show up, how you decide to react, and how you move forward in the face of adversity. That's what determines your path. Every day you are faced with choices. Should you take the easy road, the comfortable one, or do you face the challenges head on, take the risks, and push through the discomfort? It's so tempting to avoid the hard work, to choose comfort over growth, but comfort never leads to greatness. Comfort never pushes you to be the best version of yourself. Growth happens outside your comfort zone, and if you want to be successful, you have to make the decision to step into that discomfort every single day. It's those decisions that lead to breakthroughs, the moments that define who you are and where you're going. Imagine this for a second. What if you stopped making excuses for not taking action? What if instead of waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect opportunity, you just decided to go for it right now? Most people wait for the right circumstances to come along, but that moment may never come. The truth is, there's never going to be a perfect time to make a change. There's never going to be a moment when everything aligns perfectly, when everything feels easy and comfortable. You have to create that moment yourself. You have to decide that now is the time to take action, to make the choices that will move you closer to the life you want to live. And that decision, that commitment to act now, is what will separate you from everyone else. Here's the harsh truth. Time doesn't stop. It keeps moving, whether you're ready for it or not. So every time you hesitate, every time you procrastinate, you lose more time. You're not getting any of it back. The seconds, the minutes, the hours, they all slip away. And if you're not making decisions that move you forward, you're wasting time that could be used to build the future you want. Imagine looking back 5 or 10 years from now and realizing that you could have made the choices that led to the life you desire, but you didn't. Imagine realizing that you wasted years waiting for something that never came. It's a sobering thought, but it's also a wake-up call. Time is precious, and if you don't make the most of it, it will pass you by. But here's the exciting part. You still have the power to change. You can still decide to start making the right choices today. It's never too late. The moment you choose to take responsibility for your life and your decisions, you unlock the ability to create the life you want. You don't need anyone else's permission. You don't need to wait for the world to change. All you need to do is start making better decisions today. Every choice you make, no matter how small, adds up. Over time, these choices compound, and they shape the life you're living. Success isn't about one big breakthrough. It's about a series of small, intentional decisions made over time. It's the decision to wake up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's the decision to work when everyone else is resting. It's the decision to say no to distractions and yes to things that will push you closer to your goals. It's about making the choice to be disciplined, to be consistent, and to stay focused on your vision. Every time you make the right decision, you get closer to your destination. Every time you choose to act instead of waiting, you get one step closer to the person you want to be. But like anything in life, this takes practice. The more you make decisions that align with your goals, the easier it becomes. And the more you make decisions that move you forward, The more confidence you build in yourself, you start to trust your judgment. You start to realize that you are in control of your own destiny. You don't have to rely on anyone else to make things happen for you. You can make it happen yourself. That's a powerful feeling. When you make better decisions, your life changes. It's that simple. You stop feeling stuck. You stop feeling like life is happening to you. You start taking control, and you start seeing the results of your efforts. It's like a snowball effect. Once you start making the right decisions, things start to fall into place. Opportunities begin to show up. People start noticing you. Your life starts aligning with your goals and dreams. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by chance. They got there by making choices that aligned with their vision, even when it was hard. They made decisions that pushed them outside their comfort zones. They chose growth over comfort. They chose action over procrastination. And that's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. It's not about being perfect. It's not about having all the answers. It's about making the best decisions you can, day after day, and trusting that those decisions will lead you where you want to go. Remember this: you are always one decision away from a completely different life. Every choice you make has the potential to change your future. So take a moment right now and ask yourself, what decisions are you making today that will shape your tomorrow? And if they're not the right ones, what can you change? The power is in your hands. Your future is waiting, and it's up to you to decide what it looks like. So start making the choices that will move you closer to the life you want to create. Because the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decisions you choose to make. Chapter 9. The Price of Procrastination. Why you need to act now. The path to success isn't a straight line, and it's certainly not easy. It's a winding road full of challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. But that's what makes it worth it. You see, success isn't something that's handed to you. It's something you have to fight for, every single day. And those who are willing to face the struggle head-on, who choose to keep moving forward despite the difficulties, are the ones who ultimately achieve greatness. Every successful person you look up to, every person who seems to have it all together, has faced their fair share of hardships. What sets them apart isn't just their talent or their resources. It's their ability to stay committed, to stay focused on their goals, no matter what life throws at them. They don't let the setbacks define them. Instead, they use those setbacks as fuel to push even harder. And this is something you can learn to do as well. You might be in a place right now where things aren't going the way you want. Maybe you've hit a wall, or you've faced rejection after rejection. Maybe the world feels like it's working against you. But let me tell you something. That's when the magic happens. When everything feels like it's falling apart, that's when you need to dig in deeper. That's when you need to show the world how badly you want it. It's easy to be motivated when everything is going well. It's easy to feel inspired when the results are flowing in. But true strength is built in the times of adversity, in the moments when nothing is going your way. It's in those moments that you find out what you're really made of. It's in those moments that you discover your true potential. And if you can learn to keep going, even when things aren't working out, you will achieve the success you've been dreaming of. Think about the greatest accomplishments in your life. The times when you achieved something big, or when you made a breakthrough, or when you took a leap of faith and it paid off. Now think about how much of that came after a period of struggle, a period when you almost gave up. Chances are, the times that defined you the most were the ones where you had to push through challenges. The times when you were knocked down, but refused to stay down. It wasn't the smooth, easy road that shaped you. It was the hard, bumpy one. So why do we give up when things get hard? Why do we let the obstacles get the best of us? It's because our brains are wired to seek comfort. We naturally want to avoid pain, to avoid discomfort, to avoid failure. But if you only ever take the easy route, you will never grow, you will never reach your full potential. The struggle is what forces you to become stronger. It forces you to develop the resilience, the grit, and the determination that you need to succeed. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Every time you face a setback and choose to keep going, you are building the character that will carry you through the tough times ahead. And that's the key to long-term success: the ability to persevere, the ability to bounce back after every failure, and the ability to stay committed to your vision, no matter how difficult the journey gets. But let's be clear here. This isn't just about working hard. It's not about grinding yourself into the ground for the sake of it. It's about being strategic in your actions. It's about understanding that you have a choice in how you respond to the challenges that come your way. You can choose to let them break you, or you can choose to use them as stepping stones to become stronger. The decision is yours, every single time. And it's in that decision that your power lies. The truth is, success is often just one more attempt away. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is often simply this: those who succeed keep going, even when they don't feel like it. They keep going when the path is unclear. They keep going when the results aren't showing up. And they keep going when everyone else around them is ready to quit. They make the decision to push through, even when the odds are stacked against them. And that's exactly what you need to do. When the going gets tough, that's when you need to dig deep. You need to tap into that inner strength and push forward, no matter what. It's not about having everything figured out. It's not about knowing exactly what will happen next. It's about trusting the process and trusting yourself enough to keep moving forward, even when you don't know how everything will turn out. Every day that you continue to put in the work, even when things aren't going your way, is a day that gets you closer to your goals. Every day that you choose to push past the discomfort, past the doubt, past the uncertainty, is a day that you are building the life you want. You may not see it now, but every single step you take, no matter how small, is part of the journey that will lead you to success. And here's something important to remember: no one gets to the top without going through tough times. No one achieves greatness without facing the struggle. If it were easy, everyone would do it. The fact that you're facing difficulties means you're on the right track. It means you're doing something right. Because success isn't reserved for the lucky, it's reserved for those who are willing to work for it, even when it feels impossible. So don't let the struggle discourage you. Don't let the setbacks make you doubt yourself. They're not there to stop you. They're there to test you. They're there to see how badly you want it. And if you can keep pushing, if you can keep fighting through the challenges, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and closer to the success you desire. It's time to stop letting the obstacles hold you back. It's time to stop using them as excuses. Instead, use them as fuel to keep going. Use them to remind yourself that you're capable of more. The road may be hard, but you are harder. You are more powerful than any challenge that stands in your way. And when you finally break through, when you finally reach your destination, it will all be worth it. So keep going. Don't stop now. You've got this. Chapter 10. Time is the ultimate investment. How to invest in yourself. Success isn't just a destination. It's a journey, a relentless pursuit, an ongoing process. The people who stand out in this world aren't the ones who coast along, taking the easy road. They're the ones who embrace the grind, the ones who understand that the path to greatness is forged through consistent effort, even when the odds are against them. That's what separates the winners from the losers, the achievers from the dreamers, The simple truth is this: if you want to succeed, you have to make the choice to go after it every single day, without fail. You can't wait for the perfect moment. You can't wait for the stars to align, for everything to be just right before you take action. If you do that, you'll wait forever. The perfect time is now. The time to go after your dreams, to make the leap, to push past your doubts and fears, is right in front of you. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't is this action. And it doesn't matter how small the steps are, as long as they're consistent, deliberate, and taken with purpose. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to your goal. But let's be honest for a moment. The world is filled with distractions. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, to get pulled in a million different directions. Every day, we're bombarded with a constant stream of information, advice, and opinions. And sometimes, it feels like everyone else knows exactly what they're doing, while you're left to figure it all out. But here's the thing: no one has it all figured out. Everyone is working through their own set of challenges, doubts, and fears. The key to success isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about learning to move forward in the face of them. The truth is, success isn't about being perfect. It's not about getting everything right. It's about being willing to take action, to make mistakes, to fail, and to get back up again. Because every time you fall, you're learning something. You're gaining experience. You're building the mental toughness that's required to achieve anything worthwhile. And the more you take action, the more you learn, and the more you grow. Success isn't a straight line. It's a series of failures and learnings, and each of those failures is a stepping stone toward your ultimate goal. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful isn't talent, luck, or resources. It's persistence. The ability to keep going, even when things aren't going your way, is what will ultimately define your success. The people who succeed are the ones who push through the tough times, who keep their eyes on the prize, and who never let setbacks define them. They understand that the road to success isn't linear. There will be bumps along the way, but that doesn't mean you give up. It means you double down, you learn from your mistakes, and you keep pushing forward. And here's where the real power lies: in your ability to keep going when you feel like giving up. When everything in you is screaming to quit, when the road ahead seems impossibly long, that's when you need to dig deep. That's when you need to remind yourself of why you started in the first place. Why you're on this journey. Because the truth is, there's no reward without sacrifice. There's no glory without struggle. Success isn't just handed to you on a silver platter. You have to earn it. You have to fight for it, day in and day out. Every day is a new opportunity to move closer to your goal. Every morning is a chance to start fresh, to take another step forward. And every time you feel like giving up, you have a choice. You can either quit, or you can push through. The successful people are the ones who choose to keep going. They choose to face the challenges head on. They choose to embrace the grind, even when it's hard. They choose to stay committed, even when the results aren't immediate. And that's the kind of mindset that will get you to where you want to go. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't moving as quickly as you'd like, when the progress feels slow, or when it seems like nothing is working. But let me tell you something: progress isn't always visible. Sometimes it's happening behind the scenes. Sometimes the smallest actions, the ones that feel insignificant, are actually the ones that are laying the foundation for your future success. It's the consistency, the daily effort, the persistence that makes the difference in the long run. The key to achieving your goals is to stay committed to the process. It's not about focusing on the end result all the time. It's about focusing on the daily actions that will get you there. Success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, and just like any marathon, there will be times when you feel exhausted, when you want to quit, when it feels like you can't go any further. But those are the moments that matter the most. Those are the moments that will define your success. Because it's in those moments that you get to choose, will you quit, or will you keep going? It's in the times of doubt, fear and struggle that you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. It's in those moments that you build your resilience, your perseverance, and your determination. And those qualities are the foundation of success. The people who make it are the ones who can handle the tough times, who can weather the storm and keep moving forward, even when the odds are against them. And that's exactly what you can do. You can choose to be one of those people. You can choose to keep pushing, no matter what. The road ahead won't always be easy. There will be times when it feels like everything is working against you. But remember this, the greatest rewards come to those who don't give up. The greatest success comes to those who keep going, even when it's hard, even when it feels impossible. So keep pushing, keep working, keep believing in yourself. The world is waiting for you to show up and take what's yours. You've got this. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to keep going. So make that choice today. Keep pushing forward. You're closer than you think.